one.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back after a long time away. We are back here at Tilted Table. For those of you who have forgotten who we are because it's been so long since we streamed, my name is Jordan, aka Axel Hellfire, and I'm joined by my colleague
Sam, aka Guilty. I mean, wait. Guilty's not here.
Yeah, Guilty hates us forever. We've already forgotten who that is, and they'll be back next week. But tonight is our first stream after PAX Unplugged, one of the most awesome tabletop gaming events of the year, wherein we were very lucky to work with a bunch of publishers on a lot of cool and amazing stuff that we will be unveiling throughout the coming months. But tonight, we're going to do the first game from PAX Unplugged, which is called Riftwalker. Yes. So Riftwalker is a card game based in the Storm Hollow setting. If you're not familiar with Storm Hollow, it is it's a fantasy RPG that was kickstarted, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago. Yo, Grizzly Diz with the biddies. Thank you so much. That's 14 biddies. Thank you so much for that welcome back party bit cheer. So Storm Hollow, they kickstarted an RPG for it. And then they made a card game for it after that. And most recently, it was Riftwalker, and all of the Storm Hollow IP was picked up by our good friends at Crafty Games, who you may remember because we streamed Mistborn House War back in 2017.
What did we call it back then? It was something.
Yeah, it was.
We definitely could not get the name right.
Steve said like Mist War Houseborn or something like that is what, and we all laughed at him. Yo, Akibo, welcome back.
Blame this guy.
To have you back. It's
and
my
then blame
fault.
this guy.
Yeah,
and then blame the person not here.
Yeah, blame Guilty most of all. Yep. So, Crafty Games is picked up Storm Hollow. And I think they're working on some really cool new stuff for Storm Hollow in the future. But for now, they were very generous enough to provide us with a copy of Riftwalker, which is what we're going to be playing today. Also, a quick shout out because they are doing something really cool right now. If you do !KS in chat, they have a Kickstarter running at the moment for metal dice based on Mistborn. So it's a normal, it's based on their like alloy dice that they have made in the past for Mistborn House War, and for, I think there's like a Mistborn RPG that they were involved in. They are making metal versions of it, and if you're familiar with Mistborn at all, have you read Mistborn?
Nope.
Okay, so the basics of the way Mistborn works is all the powers in it. It's one of my favorite systems in terms of systems of magic, but everybody who has a power based on a metal alloy that they ingest, and there are pairs of opposite powers where it's like pull or push of the same effect. So it's like there's like a power that lets you pick a fixed point, like an object or a building or whatever, and you can either pull yourself to it or push yourself off of it. There's another one that lets you do the same thing, but for people, either pull people or push people. And so they interact in really cool ways in the books. The cool thing that they've done with these metal dice is that the power symbols that have to do with push powers are, I don't remember which one is which, but basically there's inset symbols and there's symbols that are popped out of the dice depending on whether it's a push or pull power. So It's actually like a different engraving in the die depending on what symbol is being shown. And they have hit enough stretch goals that they have it for all the base powers plus like all of the other cool powers that were revealed throughout the series, like ferrochemy and a bunch of stuff. So if you're a Brandon Sanderson or Mistborn fan, definitely check out that Kickstarter. But let's get back to Riftwalker.
Already behind. Jordan late.
Rip. So, Riftwalker. This is a game wherein we are trying to use our grid of magical elements here in the center to power and explore rifts and eventually burst those rifts for points as we are Riftwalkers trying to explore these different rifts to gain power. So, We have in front of us a grid of 3x3 element cards, which every element card has a color, and then the symbol is just to help you identify the color. And then the color/symbol in the corner tells you what's on the back side of the card so that you can plan. Because one of the things that we'll be able to do is flip cards over. So, for example, if I flip this one over, it has the symbol on the back.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Right? So it is not a secret what is on the other side of each of these cards, and it is a mechanic that you will be able to turn them over. And so the way that this game works is there are 4 steps to a turn. Pop time!
I need to hit up Pup Time for a sticker. I might have some at home.
Yeah, that tablet needs a Pup Time sticker. So the first thing you do is there are 4 steps. 2 of them are mandatory, 2 of them are optional. And we actually have some nice little player references here that we can show you all in a sec. But the first thing you do is the element step. And in the element step, you either flip or place an element card to gain that element for your turn to use during the rift step.
I didn't actually save that layout.
Oh, it's fine. Sam's fixing stuff. So when it says flip an element card, you pick any element in the grid and you flip it over and you get the element that you flipped over. Not the new element that's showing, but the old one. So if I want this like lightning bolt symbol here, I would go ahead and flip it over, which would then reveal this other symbol, but it would give me the lightning bolt to use.
All right, so this is the element step?
Yes. Yep. The other thing that you can do is draw the top card of the element deck off to the side here and choose either side of the card, place it anywhere in the grid, take the card that you replaced and put it on the bottom of this deck.
Okay, so walk me through that. Okay,
So let's say that I really wanted this symbol, and let's say maybe this one was flipped over, right? So there's none of that symbol available. I could pick this card up, take any other card, replace it, and then stick that under the deck. And I'm going to double check the rules to see if you also have to flip that, but I don't think you do. Place the element you want to use face up. So that is the difference. When you flip, you get to use what was face up before you flipped it. When you place, you choose either side, and then the element that you're using stays face up. Does that make sense?
I think we need to keep maybe
it'll make sense once we play through. So once you have an element for the turn, you can enter the rift step, which is optional. In the rift step, you can explore or shift one of your rifts that matches the element that you got from the element step. So, for example, if you want to put this on the camera, if I had that card in my hand, that symbol is the whatever this is, like a mountain symbol or something like that. Yeah. So if I wanted to play that card from my hand, I would maybe choose this card here that matches that symbol, flip it over so that I get that element, and then play that card out of my hand in front of me because it matches that element.
So explore or shift one of the rifts that matches the element you flipped. You may choose to activate the rift.
Yeah. So
this is a rift. This is an element.
Correct. And those are the only 2 parts of the game. The only 2 types of cards. Hey, it's your straw here. Hello.
Hey, we're testing this out for the first time, so let us know how legible this is. It looks really legible, but let us know.
So every rift card has an ability, and they seem fairly unique from the few that I flipped through. You can read it on mobile. That's amazing, actually.
All right, so this one says you may discard one of your explored rifts that was worth 7 points to shift all of your rifts, including this one. So obviously you'll explain what shifting means.
So when you explore a rift, which is playing it out of your hand in front of you, you put it with the symbol in the upper left corner exactly as you're seeing it right now.
Cool.
And you may choose to activate the ability. Now let's say that you already had that out and it's a future turn and you get this element again in the element step. you could then shift it by rotating it clockwise once. And what that does is now makes this rift worth 3 points.
Cool.
If you were to shift it again on a future turn, it would become worth 7 points.
Now, could I still potentially use this rift ability?
Yes.
Even when it's shifted?
Yep. Every time you shift or explore a rift, you can use its ability.
Cool.
Straw, enjoy your movie. Thank you for stopping by. Everyone say hello to Straw. She is amazing, and we have some awesome stuff coming with Funko Games because of cool stuff that Straw is working on. So I can't wait to talk about that in the future. Yeah. All right. So in your ability, you now know what a rift worth 7 points looks like, which would be shifted twice, so that the 7 is in the upper left corner. Now, if you were to use this ability, so let's say you shift, just for simplicity's sake, let's say you shifted that rift to the 7, and then you could use its power afterwards. You could discard that rift, which is worth 7, in order to shift all of your other rifts, which would mean rotating all of them, right? Does that make sense?
Oh.
So if you had other rifts in play, you could then shift all of them with that ability. Now, rifts can't be shifted past 7 points, so they can all get shifted twice.
So, so let's, for that card specifically, what happens if I rotated it again?
You can't.
So if I use the ability, then everything else rotates and this one doesn't rotate.
That one could rotate if it wasn't already at 7.
Okay, what I'm saying is once you get 7 points on a card,
it cannot shift anymore.
It cannot shift anymore, nor can you just lose that 7 points from a shift mechanic.
Nothing can make it rotate unless there's specifically a thing that says unshift or whatever, right? We'll figure that out when we come to it.
All right, so we've gotten to step 2. We've gotten to...
Yes. So the third step, which is again optional, is the burst step. So if there is a line of 3 matching elements anywhere on this grid, tic-tac-toe style, so diagonal, straight, whatever, horizontal, vertical, you can, so let's say we had this, right? 1, 2, 3, all the same element. You can then choose to burst any of your rifts that are worth points, which means they have been shifted to be worth 3 or 7 points. And bursting it means you take that immediately and you put it in your score pile. And when it is in your score pile, it is worth 3 or 7 points. And at that point, it is no longer available to shift and is no longer available to use its ability, but you have banked it for points. And that's important because the way that the game ends is in a 2-player game when one of us has 7 points. Or not 7 points, sorry. 7 rifts.
7 rifts bursted.
Yeah. So when you have 7 rifts in your score pile, that triggers the end of the game. The other player gets one last turn, and then you add up your scores. Okay?
Cool. We have one more step then.
Yeah, the refresh step is just discard as many cards as you want from your hand and draw back up to 3. That's it.
Cool.
That's pretty much the whole game. The reference card does have some terms which will come up as we encounter them, but I think we can start playing.
Cool.
Which is good because we're down to 40 seconds left on our rules explanation. Nailed it!
All right. Who goes first?
That's a great question. Let's see if the rulebook has anything interesting.
And now you have 30 seconds to figure it out.
No! It doesn't say. Play. I think it literally just doesn't say. All right. So we're going to Schwazi it.
Schwazi? For the folks at home who aren't familiar with Schwazi, we're going to put it on this camera right now.
Yeah, and it's also spelled weird. It's Chwazi, Schwazi, and it's rigged in my favor.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go!
Ha! Nailed it.
Rigged. Totally rigged. All right.
Legitimately, we used Schwazi maybe half a dozen times over the course of PAX Unplugged, and I only lost once. It was a thing. All right, so we're going to pass this over here. And I'm going to start taking my turn. So, as I said, I'm going to look at my cards really quick so I understand what I have.
Pinch.
To zoom back out again?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me see what symbols I need and what I can get with the things that I have. Well, based on the way this starts, I don't have as many options as I want. So, I'm going to talk about a new game term because it's relevant to what I'm about to do. Grow means choose a card on the element grid that has a specific element face down and turn it face up. So when an element grows, it becomes available. It gets turned face up. Okay. All right. So we are going to play the Soaring Stones. Well, sorry, element. I'm going to flip this so that I get an earth symbol.
So you flip it to get the symbol.
Yes. So I now have the earth symbol. Now in the rift step, I'm going to play an earth rift, which I'll zoom in here to show you all. And the earth rift, called Soaring Stones, has the ability Floating Rocks. You may grow or swap an earth element card. So if I wanted to...
Our cameras in the
Yeah. So what I could do here is say, and I think I am going to do it, I'm going to go ahead and grow this earth element, not the one... yeah. I'm going to grow this earth element, actually. So I turn the earth element was face down, and I'm going to grow it by turning it face up, right? So now I go to the burst step, nothing happens. And then in the refresh step, I can discard stuff. I'm going to discard one, and much like swapping out element cards, when you discard in this game, there is no discard pile. It just goes on the bottom of the deck.
Interesting.
And then I'm going to drop it up to 3, and that ends my turn. So I'm going to zoom this back out again and pass it to Sam, and we'll let you all see what the grid looks like now that I've updated it.
Okay.
So the grid here changed in that this upper right-hand corner, I flipped face down to use that element, and then I grew an earth symbol in the bottom right-hand corner as my ability.
Okay. So I definitely have to explore a thing to be able to do stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. You should definitely get a rift out, otherwise you won't really be able to do anything.
Okay. Okay, so all right, so I'm going to grow, I guess.
Okay.
Can I grow this one? Can you help me?
Yep. So you're growing. So you used the, I think, water or air element, which then caused the fire to turn face up. So you were able to play a water rift.
I think it's wind?
Or wind. Sorry, I keep saying water, I mean wind.
You may grow or swap a wind element card as its ability. So... all right, so like step 1, I did the thing.
Yep.
What is step 2?
Step 2 was playing that card. Step 1 was just flipping this card over.
And now I may choose.
Right. So it's theoretically possible that with the cards you have in your hand or in play that none of the elements help you, so you just flip or replace a card as your turn, theoretically. Mm-hmm. So that's why the rift step is optional.
Okay.
So you're in the burst step now.
No, wait. I can still activate the ability.
Oh, yes. You can still activate the ability as part of your rift step after playing it.
All right. So I'm going to swap.
Okay.
I'm going to swap this one with this one.
Okay.
So just to keep that simple.
Yep. We'll show people what that looks like. So this top center card became the middle card. and swapped with the old center.
Yeah, so swapping lets anything face up swap with something else face up. And then that is, I think, my turn. We can't rift anything, or I can't burst anything. And then I think I can just discard one, right?
Yeah,
so
you can discard one or 0.
And I'll draw 2.
2, and this goes under here. And that's your turn. All right, so do I like these? It looks like there are also some rifts that are multi-power, multi-element, which is interesting. Okay. I am going to go ahead and use this wind to, and then on my rift step, I'm going to play a venture.
Wait, hold on. I'm really confused now.
What? What can I explain?
Flip or place an element card into the element on the rift step.
Yeah.
Do you not have to flip?
You could. Place would be taking this top card from the deck and swapping, essentially.
Okay. But like, okay, so you flip the win card to get.
Yes. So it was like this. I wanted this symbol, so I flipped it to get it. Which is exactly what you did. You wanted this symbol, so you flipped it. Make sense?
Yeah. Got it.
All right. So I am going to play this venture, which is a dual element card that works with both wind or storm, but it's worth less points. It has 2 and 5 points instead of 3 and 7, which is interesting. And its ability, which I can now activate, is I can grow wind or storm. And so I think what I'm going to do is grow this storm. And that's it for me.
Cool.
And now I need to do this phase. I'm just going to draw one and keep what I have. Hey, Steven, how's it going? This is interesting. It's a little bit, there's a little minor tic-tac-toe element, but a lot of it is...
Why don't you unplug the thing? I think we can probably get most of the stream without...
That's true. If it gets low, we just plug it back in again. I'll put it by you so that you can power it when it needs it.
Yeah. All right. I still don't really understand the strategy of this game, so I think I will. Wait, maybe I do understand.
The way I see the strategy is there are 3 things you're thinking about. There's trying to get rift cards out in front of you for your tableau. There is trying to get elements so you can shift the rift cards that you have and reuse their abilities. And then there is thinking about the tic-tac-toe elements so you can eventually burst your rifts after they've shifted.
Okay.
So at some point in the game, we'll be trying to do all 3 of those things. Right now, we're mostly trying to get rifts out and shift them because we have nothing that's worth points yet.
Okay, so let's talk through this. So I can take this card.
Mm-hmm. You can use either side of it.
And I can drop this down, right?
Yep, and then that would do this.
Right, and then...
But, and I think maybe I explained this wrong.
Yeah.
In order to burst an element, it has to match the rift that you have.
Thanks, Jordan.
It's early in the game. I mean, nothing has really changed.
Thanks.
But yes.
Thanks, Jordan. Hacks, Jordan hacks.
Anything you do with rifts playing them, shifting them, or bursting them has to be done with the element that matches it. Which is what I figured you were doing when you did that swap earlier.
Yeah, so I'm going to flip, and I'm going to play Wandering Shrubs.
Okay.
Which is basically just the life element.
You may grow or swap a wind. Oh, sorry. What does that one say?
Yeah, it's you may grow or swap a life. Life is the green.
Got it.
So I'm going to go ahead and...
You're going to grow that? Nice. So now you're pretty close to a tic-tac-toe winning if you get some shifted greens, which is nice. All right. You're not bursting anything. You use the ability. Would you like to discard any of those, or do you just want to draw?
Yeah, man. I can get rid of this shit.
Okay, there's two.
One.
All right. So now, so we'll go ahead and show people the grid real quick, if you don't mind. We'll come back to that. So I need to figure out what symbol I want to use, and I think whoa. Okay, this is cool. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I don't know the deck, but I'm going to flip this to get water. And then coming back over here, where I have my tableau, I'm going to play the Quizzleplex, if you want to show them what that looks like. So the Quizzleplex has flooding floors. I may search the element deck for a card with water on it and place it as water, and then I shuffle the element deck. So if I wanted something with water, I could go do that, and I think I do. The question is what? So I think what we're going to do is we are going to do this one, and we're going to place this as water. So we're going to get rid of this one, put it on the bottom. Well, not put it on the bottom because it's shuffled, and I'm going to shuffle this, kind of flipping things around. Not that the order really matters, but
cool.
Great. And that used the ability, so now I need to figure out if I'm getting rid of things. Man. Yeah, I think I'm just going to ditch this and draw two more, which makes it your turn.
Cool. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do...
Keybot's the master of tilt.
First, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and take the wind.
Okay. What are you going to swap?
Go ahead and take that one.
You bastard.
Yeah, I saw what you were doing. I
didn't even have any points out there.
Getting some water action on.
Right.
All right, and then I'm going to... I'm going to play Changing Melody.
Okay.
All right, Changing Melody. You may return a explored rift to your hand and replace it with another rift from your hand. Shift it to the same amount. You may activate the new rift's power.
Ooh.
So
you can basically just pick up one of your rifts. I assume including that one if you really wanted, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
So you can pick up any of those three rifts and put down any one and get its ability immediately. That's really good. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And so I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and swap my Wandering Shrubs.
Okay.
Ooh. I really want this one, but I don't think I can overinvest. All right, I'm going to drop Billowing Blizzard.
Okay.
Which it gives the ability to you may shift another one of your water rifts,
which you don't have,
and activate its power. And I don't have any act, so I'm.
But in the future, it may be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then.
Would you like to discard anything?
Yeah, get rid of these two cards.
He's getting rid of all of them. He doesn't like life.
Jordan's hat looks different, maybe.
It does look like darker. Maybe it's just dirty. I don't know. It looks darker in this light.
What the hell does this mean? All right, like we should probably. I do kind of want this explained. All right, okay. So I'll zoom in on this for the folks at home.
And then tell me what it says.
All right. It says, Titania's summoning. You may activate the power of the rift beneath this rift. Special, when this is placed in your explored rifts, put the top rift from the deck face up beneath it. Oh, whenever this rift shifts. Oh.
So now do you understand it?
Wow.
I mean, I don't understand it.
That rift.
You understand what it does now, though?
Yeah.
Okay,
it
great.
Kicks your ass. That's what it does.
Yeah, it's probably true. I have no idea because I was only half paying attention. All right, so let's see what I want to do with the grid first. I think we are going to do... We're going to go ahead and get another water element. Yo!
Hey.
Recon 06, welcome to the table. I already forgot. What was the cool thing that we came up with when Guilty was here?
I don't remember.
Oh, it was welcome to the table, we saved you a seat. That's what it was.
We saved you a seat.
Great. We're working on that.
Jordan didn't save you a seat.
It's true.
He forgot.
But welcome to the... No, it's a two-person thing.
Okay, we saved you a seat.
There we go. Yeah, good job, Sam. It was Guilty's fault. Guilty's the one who says it, so... So I'm going to play, as my rift, Secrets of the Labyrinth. If you want to give them a close-up of that, Sam. So this is another water. On your refresh step this turn, you may draw 3 cards, then discard down to 3. So instead of having to choose, I want to get rid of these, I can just go ahead and draw 3 and then discard 2. So I'm going to do that now. And that's going to inform what I actually want to keep. What the heck is this? I am confused. Oh, okay. I'm no longer confused. I'm going to keep those 2. Whoa! Okay. Okay. That's cool. I'm going to keep that.
Rigged.
So I think I am tentatively going to claim that each of these rifts is actually unique, which means there's a huge amount of replayability and variance in how you can strategize because it depends on what you draw.
Cool. I'm going to swap, I'm going to grow this one.
Okay, so you're going to get a life.
Get some life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a life. All right. So this is the card that was the super special card. All right. So what this does is I place... Okay, when this place is ripped, or when this rift is explored, take the top rift face up and put it beneath it.
Okay.
And then it says, when this rift shifts, shift the rift beneath it. When this rift bursts, burst the rift beneath it.
Holy crap. Is it only once? Or do you, every time you use that ability...
It just says special. That's what happens when things happen to this one.
So it seems like... Wait, does it say you do that when you place it? Or is it like part of the ability?
It literally says like on the side.
Okay.
So I think it's just like whenever something happens.
Do you mind if I look at it?
Yeah.
I'm confused. I think I understand it, but okay, when this is placed. So there's only ever going to be one card. That's what I wanted to understand. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm like, otherwise you would just keep activating this to get more rifts and then eventually shift for like massive points.
Correct.
But it is still really good because that's like twice as many points.
Correct. Now I'm guessing that my Billowing Blizzard will not allow me to shift this thing.
Probably not.
Because that'd just be weird.
Because it's underneath it, and whereas it's the other one that would shift, right?
Yeah.
All right. Would you like to discard and draw?
It does let me grow or swap a water.
Oh, does it let you also use the ability of the card you just got?
The ability it has is use the ability underneath.
Oh, that's cool.
So it doesn't have its own ability. It just
Right.
has the ability underneath.
Awesome.
So that's it. I'm going to swap these 2 cards out.
And you didn't want to use the ability?
The ability is the grower swap of water.
Oh, which you could do, but you don't want to.
I don't see a benefit from it right now.
It benefits me.
Yep, that's a good point.
Okay. What ability do I want to mess with? I think we are going to Okay, so I this is an interesting card. I am going to skip my element step, which I know sounds weird because it's a mandatory step. However, that is because the rift that I have has a special that says you skip the element step to explore it. So I'm going to put that out here on the camera so that people can see what I'm talking about. I have the Shadowlands, which are drain magic as their ability, and this is a different kind of element that is not one of the elements you have access to. And it says whenever you want to explore or shift this rift, you skip the element step. So it only does itself. And also for bursting. Since you can never align a tic-tac-toe of cards, you just skip your step to burst it. But it's worth less points. As its ability, you may choose 1 row or column of cards on the element grid and discard them. You place element cards one at a time from the top of the element deck to replace them. You can choose which side is face up. So I can basically get rid of whatever row or column I like the least for my setup. And
Wait, what?
I can kill a whole row or column with this ability and replace from this deck.
Anytime you activate that ability?
Yeah.
How do you activate that ability?
Whenever I choose to shift it. So I only get it 3 times, tops. But just like any other ability, it activates when you play or shift. But it basically lets me make a drastic change to the element grid.
So you didn't touch the element grid.
Correct.
When you played that card.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. I skipped my element step to get this ability, and to get the card out. So the question, I wish I could go diagonal, but I can't. The question is, what do I want to get rid of? And I think that answer is... this middle row is going bye-bye.
No.
Because it seemed like the one that Sam liked the best.
Maybe.
And I play these one at a time. Oh, look, you're happy again.
Okay.
Sort of. We're gonna go ahead and do that, and then we're gonna go ahead and do them. What, Steven? Thank you for that Twitch Prime sub. Everyone enjoy the 5 emote reward that you just got.
Five. It's
Sorry.
5 people.
Everyone,
Emote
all 5 people enjoy your 1 emote reward.
Click and thank him.
Click and thank.
No, I'm
All
actually talking to you.
Oh, me? Oh, I'm the one who has to click it?
The amount is by you.
Oh, because we got an emote. Ha-ha! There we go. All right. This got interesting, actually. All right, so I think I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this here because I like water. Water is cool.
Apparently.
So if you want to show people what the new grid looks like, I wiped the middle row, and we've added these 3. I am going to keep these and just draw one. And that's it for me.
Cool. All right. I think I'm still super confused.
Okay.
So I have to do something with an element in order to shift to do something with it, right?
Yes. Yeah, so if you wanted to shift, you would have to get an element either by placing the top card off this deck or by using something that's face up right now.
Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this one over.
Okay. So you're getting water.
Getting water.
And are you going to shift? You're going to shift your water, which lets you do something.
Which, I mean, it does let me do something, but I don't have a card to do it with.
Oh, it's the one that lets you put a water from your hand?
Oh, and wait. No, that's not what I want to do.
Okay. Do you have another water to play?
Yeah.
Ooh, look at you, fancy pants.
I'm gonna play Jordan's, very similar to Jordan's, except this is Water and Life. What I'd like to point out that Jordan never explained to me about his card.
What?
Is the special ability right here, which is super important to know.
Oh, I didn't actually notice it at all. So thanks for pointing it out.
So when this rift bursts, you may burst another rift of one of those elements.
That's really cool.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, too bad I don't have anything of those elements.
Too bad Jordan hacked it.
Yeah.
Oh, yours doesn't.
Yeah, mine sucks. That's okay. I have plans.
And so this one says I may grow life or I may grow water. I will grow life.
Okay. Look at you getting rid of all the water.
What? There's plenty of water on the board. What are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
What are you talking about?
Uh-huh. All right. Let's see what the grid looks like.
I feel like we're still not figuring this game out.
No, I feel like we're just in the early stages of setting up a tableau, but we're going to start shifting soon. Oh yeah, did you want to discard anything?
I'm going to discard one.
All right, there's two. All right.
Wait. Okay, that makes sense. I thought you gave me back a card I just gave you.
Oh, I would hope not. All right. I am going to use a water element here by flipping it face down. And then I'm going to use it to shift my Quizzleplex, if you want to give them a look at that. So this is our first shift of the game. And as we explained before, when you shift, you just rotate it. Now it is worth 3 points. I still can use the ability, which is search the element deck for a card with water and place it as water. And there's only one where I can do that. And we are going to put it right here.
Cool. Way to be a jerk.
Yeah, I know, right? And that goes on the bottom of the deck where it belongs. And then I can discard if I want. I think I actually am going to do that. Let's see what comes up. All right, and now it becomes Sam's turn. Back to the grid.
Yep. All right. So, thank you, Jordan, because I actually really needed
more water.
More water.
You're welcome.
Because I am going to flip that one.
Yep. So you've claimed some water.
I claimed some water.
And now you're going to do your massive combo you've been waiting on.
Blown Blizzard. Boom.
Which does what?
So shifts. So I'm at 3 points. But it has the ability, you may shift another one of your water rifts and activate its power.
Boom.
Oh, look.
Combo.
Here's another water rift. Boom. Activate its power.
What does it power do?
So the power lets me grow life or grow water.
Ooh, so you just get more water and it's like a self-fulfilling cycle.
Yeah. So
That's
I think at this
dope.
point I'm going to grow life.
Okay.
So we'll hop to the board over here. I'm going to take this one that was wind. I'm going to make it life.
Okay.
And The wheels are turning.
Yep. You got your
Alright.
little.
Since I believe
combo.
it's like important to figure this out at this point.
Yes.
Is there a limit to how many rifts you could have explored?
Not that I know of. I'll double check, but it would be in the placement thing. It does not say. I think you can have as many as you want. It's just that the game ends when someone has 7 rifts in their score pile. That's it. So you can have some massive combos going as long as you do it, as long as you capitalize before the game ends. All right.
If you do cards.
You don't get cards. You're already
That's
winning too much. So this actually does put you in a pretty good spot. Because if I expose water, and there's a lot of it, it works in your favor. However, there are some cards that I can use here that do what I want. Oh, haha. I have a plan. Maybe. No, I am going to go ahead and use this earth. And now I'm going to activate one of my rifts here. We're going to shift my soaring stones, if you want to bring that up. Okay, so we're going to shift this. It is now worth 3, and its ability lets me grow or swap an earth element card. So what we're going to do is swap that earth over there. And that's it for me. Back to you and the grid.
Cool. All right. Okay, so let's see here. What do I have on the board right now?
We're really close to a fire combo for all that fire we have shifted.
Yeah, I feel like it's really weird because I think at this phase, like, we're just thinking about how we can get different effects.
Bree, hello!
Hey, Bree. Different effects to trigger different effects, but, like,
Yeah.
It's also complicated because we basically, it's very hard to do one thing on one turn.
Right.
Right? Because you essentially have to expend...
You're watching us from the studio? Awesome.
Yeah. You basically have to expend one unit of thing.
Right.
Only to do it again.
Right. Yeah, you kind of, there's this interesting thing where you're trying to set up stuff you want to burst. So on a future turn, you can activate like a different symbol in order to burst,
which is
in
weird.
most cases.
So what I'm going to do here is...
I think that's what makes this game crunchy.
I'm going to go ahead and take this...
generate some life. Okay.
I'm going to use it.
Okay.
Then I'm going to come here and take my Titania Summoning and shift it to 3 points, which means I can also take my Hidden Depths and shift it to 3 points.
Okay.
Then I'm going to trigger the Hidden Depths effect,
Okay.
which lets me grow or swap water.
Okay.
And so I'll go ahead here and
grow
take
some
this
water.
life and grow water out of it.
Okay.
Cool, and that's going to be my turn.
Would you like to discard any cards?
No.
Oh.
Suck it, Jordan!
I
My
see.
cards are better than yours.
I see how it is. Okay. I'm going to use that water.
Cool.
And I'm going to use it to... I'm going to use that to shift my Quizzleplex, which I'll show people here, which lets me draw 3 cards, then discard down to 3. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And Sam may have the grid back. as I look at my glorious new cards. Oh my. Oh my. Okay. Man, this is tough. All right. I'm ready. What will Sam do?
Yeah, seriously.
We are getting to this sort of interesting aspect of like, what elements do we want to be visible on our opponent's turn? And
yeah, I think we're slightly overthinking, but that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna take this green, this
Okay.
life, trigger it,
okay,
and make it a water.
okay,
Then I'm gonna take my Titania summoning again,
okay,
which now I'm gonna shift it to 7,
okay,
which means I shift the hidden depths also to 7,
okay.
and I'm gonna, which lets me swap or grow water,
Yes.
and I'm gonna take this water and put it here.
Okay.
So
He's trying to set something up, people.
swap in there, and good to go. Jordan's
All right.
turn.
Because we're near getting closer to bursts, I want to make sure that there's nothing special about bursts, like, you know, flip all the cards over when you burst them or something like that. If a line, the rift must have been shifted at least once. Remove it. Make sure you keep all the same orientation. Okay, yeah. So when you burst, you just have to have 3 in a row. You don't do anything to it. So they could stay there for multiple turns if you wanted to like keep bursting, which makes this very interesting. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to shift for wind. Or not shift, we're going to use a wind. We're going to flip to get wind. Then, coming over here, we are going to play a card. We're going to explore a rift. So the song beneath the song is the ability of the wind song refrain. Now, this lets me shift another of my wind rifts and activate its power. So over here, I have the Venture, which I'm going to then shift. Okay? And that lets me grow wind or storm. So I'm going to grow that same wind that I just had.
Cool.
And that makes it Sam's turn. Back to the grid.
Cool.
And I'm just going to draw 1 card.
So at this point, I am going to.
Oh my god. There can be some really cool combos if you get the right cards.
Take this wind.
Okay.
Sorry. And shift it. Or
You're
do
gonna
the
use
thing.
it. Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and take Changing Melody.
Okay.
Shift it.
Okay.
So then its ability lets me return an Explored Rift to your hand and replace it with a card of your hand of the same amount. You may activate the new rift's ability. So I'm going to take this blue watery rift here.
Okay.
Take it back to my hand. It was in the 3 spot.
Right.
I'm going to play Castle of Sand,
Okay.
which is special ability is you may shift one of your 3-point rifts.
Okay.
It comes in as a 3-point rift. I'm shifting it to 7.
Okay. That's cool.
And it has a special ability that says at the end of the game, this rift is worth bonus points for every 7-point rift in your score pile.
Nice. Which is
So
going
it's
to be a
plus
lot.
2 points per rift.
Nice.
When it's at 7, 1 point per rift when it's scored at 3.
Very cool. Okay.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Great. Interesting. Okay. Well, I am going to I'm going to go ahead and use this fire. And then if I can have the hand cam, we're going to go ahead and explore a new rift, which is the Everblaze, which has the ability burn memory. You may burn any number of your explored rifts by discarding them and placing them face down under this card. You must burn at least one.
Oh, and you get
I get
points per burned card.
Right, and it's like yours. It's 1 when it's shifted to 3, or 2 if I shift it all the way to 7.
Cool. And then the bonus just says that, right?
Yeah. So I am just going to go ahead and burn my Drain Magic, which was worth less anyways.
Could you not? You could only shift it with shift abilities?
I could only shift it. No, I could shift it by refusing to do anything to the element grid, same way I played it.
Okay, got it.
But it's just worth less points, so it's a good candidate to go under this, so that I'm spending time shifting stuff that's worth more. And that's my turn, and I'm going to keep both of these and bring that back to you, and you can have your grid.
Cool. All right. Okay, so apologies. It's going to take me a sec to think about exactly the right way to do this.
No worries. I can see from the cards that we've both gotten that sometimes you have some really interesting and long combos and intricate interactions.
Yeah.
By the way, while Sam is thinking, this game is I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind.
Okay. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to not super combo. I'll just regular combo.
What's up?
I'm going to super combo. I'm going to super.
He's super comboing.
All right.
Are you going to use your water card again?
All right. No, it's even better. Follow along. Everyone follow along. Okay.
All right. Well, first of all, what element are you using?
I'm going to use this wind one.
Okay. So he's using a wind to expose a water.
I am taking my changing melody.
And you're shifting it.
Shifting it to 7.
Okay. And what does its ability do?
Its ability lets me replace an explored rift with another rift of the same thing, activate its ability.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back to my hand.
Okay.
Take the blizzard in.
Does it come in at the same shifted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's important.
And then I'm going to use its ability, which lets me shift another water, and activate its power.
To grow water.
I shift this one.
Yep.
To 5.
Yep.
Which lets me shift or swap or grow. No.
Swap or grow
Which
water.
lets me grow life or water.
Oh, so you're going to grow life. Interesting.
Gonna grow life.
Oh, and you're going to pocket both?
So it's burst round. Boom. Wait. 5. Right?
Oh, that's a duel.
It's a duel. Gonna get the 5 points for that. And what else do I get for those 5 points?
Special, when you burst this, you get a second one.
So I'm gonna burst this.
You're gonna do that one, not your double over there?
Oh, I've got something in store for you.
Oh no, chat. This is bad.
I mean, I guess I could. I think ultimately it ends up being the same net
Are
result.
you? Oh, are you keeping all three?
I don't know. Ooh. Yes. Yes. I will do that. All right.
Yeah, your powers combo a lot better.
Overpower
than mine do.
combo.
Okay. All right. Unfortunately, this layout is not conducive to the combos that I wanted to do, but that's okay. I just need to think about exactly how I want to do this. Okay. Here's what's going to happen. We are going to do a life, and we're going to play, coming over here to the hand cam, we're going to play we're going to explore a new rift, Thunderdrum Forest, which has the ability, new growth. It also has a bonus. At the end of the game, this rift is worth bonus points for every 3-point rift in your score pile. If it gets all the way to 7, it's 4 points for every 3-point rift. So all my 3s become 7s, basically.
Wow.
And it's worth 2 if I only get it shifted once.
The race is on,
yeah,
my friend.
I've got some
the
things
race
going
is on.
I also have a lot of 3-point rifts all of a sudden. Weird how that happened.
Apparently.
So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to shift one of your unshifted rifts. So I'm going to shift.
Oh, it's just straight up shift and unshifted rift?
Right. So it has
That's
to be
pretty
something
good.
that's unshifted, but it's really good. Yeah.
Oh, it gets it to 3. It gets it to 3. I see.
Yep,
Okay.
okay. Which is what it wants to do, anyways.
Yeah.
So
I was like, it's way too OP if it's something else.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to shift my wind song refrain again to get it to 3, which then lets me shift another of my wind
Hold on.
riffs.
It says shift and activate?
Oh, it doesn't. It does not say activate.
Oh.
Okay, that's fair.
Jordan.
But that's
Jordan
also,
with the cheats.
that's actually better. That's actually better for me. So that's fine. Because now it leaves everything at 3.
Cool.
Well, except for this one.
And then what are you doing with the board?
Nothing, because I already changed the board.
Cool.
I am going to just draw 1 card, though.
All right. So, cool.
What?
Now I want to know.
Holy shit. Okay.
All right. Well, kick my ass soon. All right.
Damn.
I'm taking some earth energy. So I can play Strange Gem Magic. On your burst step, you may burst 2 of your 7-point rifts if you discard a rift from your score pile.
Damn.
So
you could get rid of the crap B5.
So it's very interesting because when you the abilities that I had that used.
Sorry, that was a 2, I guess.
No, it was a 5.
Oh, you had it rotated the wrong way.
Oh,
whoops, should have been.
It should have been this way. Okay,
yeah, that's still fine.
It's interesting because the game says 7 and 3. So 2 and 5 is not a variant of 7 and 3. So it's actually interesting because I was like, oh, I can't actually use this ability to chain this one.
Right.
So this is going to get discarded.
Okay.
And then I'm going to burst this rift, which is a 7-point rift, which gets me.
And what did you flip over here, by the way?
This one.
Okay.
So this gets me 2 points per 7-point rift. So similar to yours, except
it came in. Did it come in at 7?
Well, remember that was the one where I used this changing melody to come in at 3 and have it swap itself. No, I did it a couple turns ago.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah. And this is the one that's worth extra for every 7-pointer.
Which means I'm bursting Titania's song for 7.
And
which means I also get to burst Hidden Depths.
You have crap tons of points.
For 7.
Yep.
And so I actually only have 2 rifts out. I'm going to need to do some exploring. But I scored a bunch of points.
That's true.
And so I will discard. Actually, I won't discard. I'll just draw one.
Okay. All right. I am going to go ahead and create a life. And then we're going to come over here to the handy cam. And we're going to go ahead and shift this baby, which then allows me to shift one of my unshifted rifts. So we're going to shift this one. And I think everything is nicely oriented the way that I want. Kind of give you guys the backup view of that. And that ends my turn, and I may want to discard. I'm going to think about this a bit, but you can go back to the grid if you want. I'm going to get rid of this one because I don't like it as much anymore.
All right, so I'm, just to keep things fast, I'm going to burn a wind.
Okay.
I'm going to do changing melody, which was the one that lets me swap and do stuff.
Yep.
I'm not doing any swapping.
You're just exploring it?
I'm just exploring it. I'm putting it out there. Okay. I'm going to get rid of one card.
Okay.
Draw two. And then hand it over to Jordan.
All right. Oh, I think I discarded the wrong card. Hold on. Nope, I didn't. Okay, never mind. I just forgot what it said. Okay. I am going to go ahead and use this. Is that what I want to do? I'm going to use this life. So I'm going to get a life. We're going to come over here. We're going to shift.
Why don't you put your cards forward?
No, I don't want to do that. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to create a fire. And yeah, I do need to start moving.
You need a mountain.
Yeah, mountain. What did I say?
I just wanted to make sure you didn't actually mean fire.
Yeah, I meant mountain.
Okay.
All right. All right. So now we're going to come over here. And we're going to play a mountain card out of my hand. The ability is useless. You may discard one of your explored rifts that is worth 7 to shift all of your other rifts, including this one.
That's pretty good.
And I'm going to keep both of these and go ahead and draw.
Cool. All right. Again, trying to expedite what we're doing here.
Yep. Now we're getting a handle on it a little more.
So I'm going to go activate this this green one, this life.
Yep.
So I can play this card, Spreading Bloom. You may shift one of your rifts for each rift in the score pile. You have in the score pile. You cannot shift a rift more than once.
So you can just shift all 4.
I'm going to shift all 4 of my
That's
rifts.
bad for me. That's really bad.
Hi, rifts. Hi, rifts.
Oh, God. All right, back to the grid. I'm going to go ahead and use this life here. And I'm going to play a Fairy Bloom. You may search the element deck for a card with life on it and play it as life.
Ooh.
Seems like we needed more life in this party. There's only 2 with life, so we're gonna go ahead and grab this one, and we're gonna go ahead and put it. We're gonna put it here as life.
Oh, sorry. I needed. I'm gonna. Sorry.
Yep, that's fine. Do you need 2?
Yeah, I need to.
And do I want to keep these? Yes. So I'm just gonna take 1. Wow. Wow.
All right, hold on. Gotta read this card real quick.
Stratagems. I think Sam's gonna win, chat. The combos are OP.
Yeah, this is a pretty OP stratagem.
Yeah.
But I don't. It may or may not be super important right now.
What? Sorry, I didn't read one of my cards very closely. Damn.
All right. Okay. So how does placing work?
You just pick that card up, flip it to whatever side you want the element of, and then you just replace any card in the grid.
Okay. So I pick it up. I want.
You want electric. Or whatever. You want storm?
Yeah.
Okay, so what card do you want to
place it right in the middle.
Okay, great.
As storm.
Yep. This goes away.
And you're going to get to see this really weird card. It's called Pulse of Energy. Give it to you guys right here.
No.
So it's weird. On your burst step this turn, you may use a line of any element to burst one of your rifts. The rift you burst must be an element that you have not yet scored. Now, the way I'm interpreting that is I cannot use it this turn because there's not a line of one element. But if there were a line of one element, I could burst an element of a different color. That's how I'm interpreting it. Do you think that's correct?
Let me take a look at this.
If not, I'm bursting shit.
You may use a line of any element to burst any one of your rifts. The rift you burst must... Yeah, so I think as long as... Basically, it means
I could use, like, blue to
burst red.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, or something like that. But you would have to have a line of one element, but then that element doesn't have to match the rift that you're bursting, I think is what it says.
Yes.
And then what's the special bonus?
The special bonus is at the end of the game, I get bonus. This rift is worth bonus points if you have enough rifts of different colors.
Jesus.
In my score pile.
So you're like set. You're going to get a lot of points.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe.
All right. What can I do here?
Jordan's like, I can hack him up.
Not really. My combos are too slow right now. All right, I'm gonna use this wind. Then we're gonna come over here. We're gonna explore something new. If you want to put it on the screen. We're going to Land's End, which has false story echoes. You may activate the power of any explored rift.
Ooh, yours or your opponent's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I need to look at yours.
So this is the one
I just ruined that.
Oh shit. Okay.
Slightly.
Yeah, you did.
I'll let you fix it because you can see it. And I'm going to come over here and look at what these say because they're all sideways. None of them really help me.
Unfortunately.
Except maybe the changing melody. But I'm not sure if I want to use the changing melody. Wait, does changing melody let me use the ability of the thing that I just put down? So I would get another ability. Ooh. Oh, hold on. there's a note here about rifts that activate other rifts' powers, and I want to read it through so we understand it.
Oh god, maybe we've.
I think we're fine. It's
time.
when you're activating your opponent's rifts that there's a weird thing. So, if a card activates another rift's power, it is actually activating that rift, not just copying the power. For example, if you used a power to shift and activate the power of burn memory, which is my card, the card that you burn actually goes under this card, not the card that caused it to activate.
Got it. That makes sense.
If you activate an opponent's power, the you in the power text refers to you, the player currently taking a turn. So if I used False Story Echoes, which is this card I just played, to activate an opponent's burn memory, I would have to burn one of my explored rifts and put it under their card.
Okay.
So
I am interpreting that you cannot use this to swap one of my cards with yours.
Correct. I would assume so, because it says you, right, somewhere?
Yeah, it says your hand and replace it with another rift from your hand. Yeah.
Your explored rifts and your hand, they both refer to me. So I would activate that power and it would only affect me, right?
Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, this is just a really poorly worded card because it says you may return an explored rift to your hand. Like, if I took that exceptionally literally, it would mean I could return one of your cards to my hand. But, like, I'm assuming that's not how they meant that card.
Although that'd be pretty cool if you were like...
That'd be the most OP card
if you were like
ever.
Giving cards from your hand to somebody else's, but yeah, that'd be OP. I think what we're going to do here is... We are going to use the... Oh, man. This is really tough.
It kind of all depends on what you're trying to set up for, right?
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure what I want to set up for. So I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go ahead and...
You can also set up for your next turn.
Right. I'm just going to do shift another of your... Oh! I'm going to activate Song Beneath the Song. You may shift another of your wind rifts and activate its power. And I'm going to use it to shift this and activate its power. And then I'm going to use it to activate this. And then I'm going to use it to activate this power. I don't know if I want to do it twice, but I'm just going to activate it again. This shifts this and activates its power. So now I can activate another thing. So I think I'm probably going to do this to shift this and activate this power.
That's not a wind.
Oh, sorry, you're right. This has to be wind, but that's fine.
You could do that one.
Yeah,
because that's technically a double.
Actually, yeah, could be useful. Yeah, we're gonna actually. This is one of the ones that is not helpful for this. So I'm gonna shift this. And activate its power. That's an interesting, not infinite combo.
It seems slightly broken, but if they're all unique, then it's also, probably not.
Right, and also because this can only get activated twice, because then it's done shifting, right? So then I went and sorry, I didn't realize that was.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
They just couldn't see it. So I
pointed to it anyway. So.
Yeah. So I activated this False Story Echoes to activate Song Beneath the Sea, which I then used to shift False Story Echoes and activate it again. And then I used Song Beneath the Sea a second time to shift my dual element one, which is going to let me then grow Wind or Storm.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and grow Wind. And that ends my turn. Now I'm going to get rid of this and hope I draw something useful.
So Jordan,
are you mega comboing now?
I just want to tell you, I'm very glad First of all, I need to draw a card. I only have two.
Right, here. I didn't look at it yet,
Okay.
so that was just the top card I drew.
Ooh, that card's pretty good. Sure you don't want it back?
Right.
Okay, I'm glad I was able to incept the idea of swapping to wind.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to use wind.
Because you needed wind.
I needed wind. Okay, and of course, we're going to play my favorite card here. This guy right here, Changing Melody.
It's so good.
Taking Changing Melody.
I think Sam's going to win without me getting any points.
I'm going to get 7 points here, or I'm going to shift this to 7. I'm going to do a swap-a-roo. I'm going to swap it with Weird Magic.
It's so good.
At 7.
And what does Weird Magic do?
Weird Magic lets me choose one element card on the grid and swap it.
Okay. So what are you swapping?
So I'm going to swap these two.
And burst.
And burst for 7.
Yep. That's a thing.
Bursting is great. I like it. I suggest everyone do some more of it.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and activate life.
Thanks, Kate.
And let me double check.
Kate's bursting with energy. Oh, wait. Do I want to get rid of stuff? Yeah, I do want to get rid of one thing.
Okay.
So let's get rid of this one.
I'm going to activate life, and I'm going to shift my new growth, which, as we said before, lets me shift an unshifted rift. And I'm going to shift my other life rift, which is not that exciting, but because this is still in play, I also get to burst my duel and finally score some points.
Scoring points.
So I have 5 points to Sam's a lot.
And you get to do the other thing, right?
Oh, it does combo,
yes.
Right? I can burst another wind, which is actually useful for me at this point.
I'm guessing you want to burst that one.
I think so.
Because this one you could still potentially use if you needed.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is countermanding your 3-point thing.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and burst another wind, which comes in at 3 points. And that's my turn, and I'm going to discard both of these and go for something new. I think I didn't discard cards enough early on. I kind of held cards that I thought would be useful, and it was too slow, whereas you dug for some really cool combos.
Cool.
What? Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay.
Holy crap. Okay. That's interesting. Some interesting stuff just happened with this hand. I'm definitely going to be using the hand cam on my turn. Unless Sam just ends the game.
I'm thinking about it.
I mean, you can burst one for sure.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use life.
Okay. And shift.
And shift Spreading Bloom.
Uh-huh.
Which lets me shift up to 5.
Okay.
So I will shift each one of these once.
Yep. Which is nuts.
Cool. And then because we're at
Yeah, I screwed up several times. I also think that this game definitely is supposed to play a little bit more fast paced, but I was not aggressive enough with shifting and just bursting. And I was playing a longer game than this game should have been played.
Yeah, so I think at this point I'm going to use... Oh, wait. No, that doesn't...
Oh, do you not have a second thing to burst off? Or wait, whatever that does?
Okay, yeah.
You're still going to do that, right? you have what? 4 elements, so it works.
Yeah. I think I misplayed a little bit.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me think about this. Okay. Can I slightly retcon?
Sure.
I am going to retcon how many things I shifted with this.
That's fine. I mean, you get to choose, right? So
yeah,
that's fine.
So I'm going to unshift this one, and I'm going to burst Pulse of Energy.
I also think I did that wrong. There we go.
So Pulse of Energy, that was the one that let me burst anything in a line. I just forgot that I needed to activate it in order to use the ability. It's not a like when burst happens I get to use the ability. It's
Right.
I activate it, and when burst happens I get to use the ability.
Got it.
That's the part I like misunderstood.
Ah, so you could have used it to burst another thing.
And that's what I was trying to do, and I was like, fuck.
Didn't
Okay.
quite work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, your turn.
Great. Well, this is awkward. I have some cool combos, but they don't do what I want. We're gonna just go because I'm pretty sure you're gonna end the game next turn.
Yeah.
Do you have a power that just lets you burst stuff out and play?
Yes.
I mean, which one is that?
This one.
Which is on your burst step this turn. Oh. Cool. Okay, I can prevent you from using that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. It's not exactly what I want to do, but I can elongate the game. All right, so I am going to use water. And let's come over here to the hand cam because there's some shenanigans about to happen. If you want to put that up on the screen, Sam. So, Starfall Deeps. Oops, here we go. You may explore another rift from your hand and activate its power. Also, at the end of the game, this rift is worth bonus points if you have enough explored rifts remaining in play.
Behold, the explored rifts of Jordan.
I mean,
Jordan's 9 explored rifts currently.
Yeah, I have a ridiculous amount of explored rifts. But what I'm going to do is explore another rift, and I wanted to do this differently, but that's okay. So I'm going to play Land's End, which lets me shift an opponent's rift. So I now shift it, which prevents you from shifting it later to get the burst. You could still end it if you have a storm, but then on my burst step, I can burst a rift that matches the element of that rift. So it's an earth, right? That I just shifted of yours?
Yeah.
So I can burst this earth over here. And that at least gives me some points. And I'm going to discard that card and draw 3 more. And now it goes back to Sam and the grid. But I just delayed the game a little bit, chat.
So I don't actually think I can use this when I burst. I still have to activate it.
Correct. Yeah, you have to activate it by shifting it. So now that it's already been shifted, you can't use the ability, which was the point.
Dude, this card is just way too OP, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like... Okay, hold on. So, like now I'm gonna, like, try to double play, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I can take this.
Yep.
Play Changing Melody.
Yep, which we all know. So he activated
which is the OP card.
Got
And
his
then
OP card.
I'm just going to swap this back to my hand
to play a different 7.
Uh,
But then you get to activate that new card's ability, right?
yeah, which
Changing Melody is a very strong card if you just never score it.
yeah. And so at this point, I think I'm gonna play Rainbow Lightning,
Okay.
which lets me flip or place any elemental card.
Ah!
And I'm gonna flip.
Do you have another combo?
No.
No? Okay.
I'm gonna flip this.
So you're not going to end the game this turn, but it does help you. Okay. And this is bad for me because now if I do nothing, you just score next turn and end it.
That is correct.
Yeah. So we're going to place.
Good call. Good
Yeah,
call.
we're gonna place. We're slowly doing things. Ooh. Okay, this gets good. This gets good because this has a life on one side. So I'm gonna place there, which gets real good for me. I am going to go ahead and is there another life in here? There is. Okay, so we can do interesting
I need
things.
to draw a card.
I'm going to go ahead and shift this other green card, which is my fairy gardening that lets me search for a life element. So I'm basically just going to muck up the board a little bit and place this as a life. And so we're going to place... What else do you have? You have wind, lightning, and earth. So where are the combos that suck? I think we're just going to go ahead and... Just going to go ahead and do that. Wait. Yeah, because I don't want to put a different lightning and somehow give you a chance to get to 3 lightnings again. So I just go ahead and place that. Then, as my burst step, I finally get to burst my power card.
Yep.
So that is the card that I've shifted all the way. So now it is worth 7 on its own, plus 4 for every rift that I've shifted to 3 points in my score pile. Mm-hmm. Which Sam still has more points, but at least puts me on the board in a not insignificant way. And that ends my turn, and I'm going to discard some crap that I didn't even read. Yeah, I'm just going to discard both of these.
Okay. Well, I'm still going to end the turn.
Still going to end the game, yeah.
Because I can just place this, which lets me place...
Which lets you burst a thing.
The Soaring Stones,
yeah.
Which lets me place the Strange Gem Magic,
yeah.
Which lets me get rid of this card, and then take 2 of my 7-pointers.
And score them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many colors I have.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'll go for the rainbow. I'll go for the rainbow.
Even though you got rid of the card.
Even though I got rid of the
points
card,
for the rainbow.
I get more points with it.
Yeah. And you crush me.
Yeah. So
let's do some scoring here.
Okay. So let's use let's use this let's use this camera to look at the scoring here.
Oh, this one. Yeah. So there's not a lot going on with mine. I'll count mine first because it's less interesting. So I scored 7 per rift. I had an interesting combo coming up, but it didn't. So I scored 4 per rift that I had in the 3 position. So just to make it easier, what I'm going to do is just shift these both to 7 because that's what they're giving to this card. So I have 3 7s for 21 plus a 5 for 26 and no other combos.
Okay.
I could not have done that if one of the other cards in the 3 position also had bonus things because that would have screwed things up. But yeah, 26 straight up for me, and then Sam crushes me.
Cool.
As we shift this in.
As we can look at the score, currently the score is 26-0.
Yes, but then we slide in these 7 7s,
Yeah.
for 49. Just straight up.
Oh, hold on. I don't know how to. There's not a good way to do that. This is stupid. Why is this game? Why is this doing it this way?
What are you trying to do?
I was trying to do something.
Oh, were you updating the score?
So basically, I have 7 sevens.
Yeah.
Plus 2 points per 7-point drift.
Oh, geez. So that's another 14.
Yeah.
So that puts you at like 63.
All right. Well, let's see how long it's going to take me to click to 63.
Wait. Do you have to do it 1 point at a time?
I do it 1 point at a time.
Oh no. No, chat.
Oh, actually, it's also too small that you would put my name in once I get to double digits. So I had to do that.
So that's the end of the game, chat. As Sam completely crushed me. Though I think that's more my fault than anything else because Sam had a cohesive strategy and I did not.
Sam at 63 to Jordan's 26.
All right.
I don't actually, for what it's worth, I don't think I actually have a strategy. I mean,
you fell into a strategy.
I think it worked out.
But it worked out well. So let's talk about our post-game review stuff here, as Sam has claimed victory.
Sam has claimed definitive victory. Okay.
Yes.
So look and feel.
All right.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Linen finish cards, really great artwork on all of the cards. Beautiful design all around.
Let's say this is a small thing, but like obviously, like it was really nice that every card reiterated like what the cards meant and what they were saying. That way, like our shared like there wasn't a little side card that was like this symbol means this.
Right.
Like every card described it, and so by the end,
there wasn't like this is how bonuses work. They just explained how a bonus worked. That makes sense.
So like that. Okay, cool. Visual accessibility. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, it uses shapes and colors, and like Sam said, there's text that explains what everything does. So,
2 thumbs up. All right, here we go. Learning.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Great. I kind of expected this is how it was going to go, so I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, I think conceptually, it just takes a little bit longer to really understand how these mechanics work. I don't know if we like played it poorly, and maybe that's what kind of also made it hard for me. But I think like just at the beginning, learning and setting up was just slightly confusing, and it's like this is almost one of the types of games where I wish they would just like potentially describe some strategy early on. Because I like definitely felt super lost at the beginning.
Right. Fair enough. I agree with everything you said. The reason I gave it a thumbs up rather than a sideways is just because, in my opinion, I felt like the trouble that I had was in grasping strategy, not in figuring out how to play the game. Right. I felt like in terms of like what are the mechanics, it's like get an element, use that element by exploring or shifting, burst if you can, redraw. So it's like there's 4 things potentially max that you do every turn, and that part was really easy to grasp. They wrote it down for you on a nice little thing. They had game terms on the back that explained what everything did. So I felt like I didn't have any trouble figuring out how any of the mechanics work. Where that comes in is going to be my ratings for the later categories. So yeah, but I agree with everything you said. Absolutely.
Just to get just a quick like question here.
Yeah.
How many players is this game for?
2 to 4.
Okay, cool.
So we played the head-to-head version. It obviously gets more chaotic with how the grid evolves and
standard
everything.
Game mechanics players definitely still apply, right?
Yes,
like, nothing really changes.
The only thing that changes is how many rifts you need to end the game. So with a 3-player, you end it when someone gets 6. With a 4-player, you end when someone gets 5.
Cool. That makes sense.
That's it.
All right, let's move on. We're going to go to complexity. So 3, 2, 1. Okay.
You wanna?
Yeah, I did not think there was going to be that much depth to this game, and I know like strategic depth is the next one, but I think I mean depth in terms of like, you know, the different mechanics that are out there do seem to interplay fairly well. I think the mechanics of the turns make a lot of sense, but how you take your turns really impacts how the next player takes their turn, what you can even do by the burst round. I think like we very quickly understood it was very unlikely for us to flip over a card and burst that round. Like that is what I thought the game was going to be about, and it wasn't about that. And I think it's because you got to flip the top one, you know. So I thought it was really cool. I thought I was going to get really tired of the game mechanics early on. I didn't.
Yeah.
It was good.
I agree with that. For me, the complexity comes from the fact that even though the game lays out very simply, there's a lot to keep track of. There's like, what are all the abilities that I have available and how are they useful depending on how cards are shifted? What can my opponent do with all of their abilities? And we never had a single ability that was the same other than abilities that were the same for different types of elements. Right? So there's a ton of different abilities to keep track of. And then it's like you may only have a 9-card grid of elements, but then you also have to keep track of what could they become if they flip over? How does that change the tic-tac-toe part for bursting? And what could come off the top of the deck and completely change it? Or in the case of that one card that I had, what 3 could come off the top of the deck if somebody wiped a row? So there's a lot to track, even though it has a small table presence, which is why I did thumbs up for complexity.
Cool. Strategic depth. 3, 2, 1. Like, okay, you guys see this. I'm like mid, but I really want to
get a little slight down.
Okay.
Down. Okay,
so
go ahead.
I'll talk about this. Like, everyone knows that I'm the guy who doesn't like RNG in games.
Yep.
I think like I just don't like the randomness. I think, however, if we look at how this game turned out, I got some pretty good cards that could continuously pump out very powerful mechanics.
Yes.
Right? I basically got, based on my like randomness of card draw, I got like 5 7-point rifts onto the board.
Very early, yeah.
Without truly bursting, right? Basically all I had to do was get 1 card down, then I burst 2, which combos to 3.
Yep.
Then I get one
Burst
more
shift.
card. Yeah. No.
Oh, burst.
No, remember that like I
Yeah.
burst, I discard 1 to burst 2.
Yeah.
Like that's a really powerful mechanic.
Yeah.
And I think like in a game where where you have this level of randomness, the cards don't repeat, I think it's probably more friendly than it should be. I think it intentionally didn't want to play too many take that mechanics, and I feel like if you're going to get OP cards in the game, you need take that mechanics to balance it out. I like the game, don't get me wrong, I really like the game. I do feel like maybe in a 3 to 4 player, the ability to chain that level of really powerful combos might be diminished, so it might be okay. But like I did sit here thinking like Jordan's kind of getting screwed because he's not getting the specific cards he needed, which I think is also more ironic because you had that cycle card, right?
Yep.
Like being able to draw through, you cycled through 6 extra cards very quickly.
Yep.
Like that's super powerful in most games. It was not as powerful in this game, and I feel like that's actually not good.
Yeah, and I did have a fair number of things that had to do with my opponent in terms of potential take that, but some of them are like give your opponent something that's kind of good for them to get something really good for yourself, like allow them to shift, right?
Yeah, I had a couple of those too, and allow your opponent to shift is not
bad for them in most cases. Yeah. Unless you had what I had where I want them all to be 3s, then you could have screwed me with that kind of power. I went high on strategic depth because I feel like this is actually a word that I hadn't used to describe board games until I heard it a lot at PAX Unplugged, but I feel like this is a very crunchy game, meaning like it for me, you're like really crunching how things can, it's a mental crunch. And I feel like the more I play this game, the more I'm going to understand what potential combos exist. And so I'm going to do a lot better job of being willing to get rid of cards to dive for things that interop well together. And so I think that's what I did wrong. And that's why I think there's a lot of depth to it. And as you said earlier, it was a surprising amount of depth compared to how it looks initially when you're like just looking at the game. So that's why I gave it a thumbs up.
Jordan, before we move on to excitement,
Yes.
can you just tell me what is the game rated at in terms of timing?
We definitely took a lot longer, which is why I think I made some play mistakes. So I believe it is 30 minutes.
Yeah,
but I can't find it somewhere.
I feel like
it's rated 30 minutes.
Hey, thanks for the 26 bits, Jordan. Why don't you score more next time?
Yeah. Thank you, Steven. Appreciate it.
I think the one real complaint I'm going to have about this game before we move on to excitement is the fact that if I pick this up in a store and it's a 30-minute game, I think I have very specific judgments about the type of game that I'm getting.
Yeah.
In fact, to be honest, can you show them the box? We didn't sleuth this week.
Oh yeah, forgot.
That's fine.
Hey Sam, you want to sleuth?
No. Even look at that box. It's small. It's a small 30-minute game. It does not really make you feel like there's the level of complexity
it looks like
there
it's a crunchy game, yeah.
And I think it deserves to have more, essentially. So it's not really a criticism of the fact that it says 30 minutes, but I think it would probably appeal to more people if they rated it more closer to 45 to 60. I can't imagine that we play a 4-player game and take 30 minutes. I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah,
even at 5 instead of 7.
Yeah, I do think that one of the things we did wrong, and me far more than you, was trying to set things up rather than just shifting and scoring and playing the tic-tac-toe. So I think that's what I think they rated it that way because they intended people to play it that way. And I would definitely play more aggressive speed-wise if I played it again, because I definitely did not have a cohesive strategy and was trying to cobble one together instead of just being like, all right, I'm going to start booking stuff. Especially once you got those 4-7s out, I should have just started banking things.
That's perfectly fair. Because every one of your 3s was a 7, technically.
Yeah.
Cool. Once you got that point. All right.
Excitement.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. I had fun. I would play this again. I think you're right that the fact that all the cards are different does contribute to the ability to play again. I could see this being a game that gets very old very quickly. I do imagine that with more players, what actually happens is what you really want to do is ally burst. So I imagine a burst will actually sit on the board a lot longer than in a heads up game.
Right. Yeah, because everyone would be like, oh, now I can get it.
So maybe there's a new meta that's introduced, which is how do you ally with someone else. But I think it could be fun. I could see it getting old pretty quickly, but I think at least at this point, I'm definitely probably willing to play it again.
Yeah, honestly, for me, this game surprised me. I don't try to prejudge games, but I saw the kind of tic-tac-toe mechanic, and I was like, oh, you flip to get a card out, and then you try to align 3 of them so you can score it. And I didn't really account for how much depth the abilities of the cards add and how much that changes the way the game plays. And so for me, I was very pleasantly surprised by how much this makes me want to think about the game. And as people who've watched the stream, that games that make me think are games I want to come back to. So crunchy games are my thing because I am now thinking about how could I do it better. And because every game is unique, you can't even come up with an optimal strategy because it's very much reliant on the cards you draw. But I don't think that the RNG is done in a bad way. It's just the RNG causes you to have to vary your strategy from game to game.
Yeah, I could see this game being also super because I don't think there's a lot of game card swap mechanics. I think there's a lot you could potentially do with what if you drew 4 cards. I also feel like there's a very good opportunity with this game to I think expansions could fit just really well.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I think that actually will give more character to the game.
Yep.
Could potentially even introduce another color. With
or new
mechanics. Base mechanic. So I think it's cool. I really like it. I just wish there were a way for this game to feel by looking at it that
it's such a small box.
more than it is, because I think the game is definitely more than what
it looks like. Yeah. The last thing I want to say before we move on to the end here is that for me, the fact that you can discard your entire hand and redraw is what makes the RNG work in this game, because you're never stuck with bad cards. It's one of the things we liked about Oceans compared to Evolution, remember, is like those games where it's like there's a mechanic that says you're never stuck with a bad situation. You can always just throw it away and get new stuff. And in this game, it is actually a whole step dedicated to just doing that. So you're not even penalized for having bad stuff. You can take your turn with what you have on the table and then throw your hand away.
Yeah. And I think you saw that when we got to the phase where you were like, do you want to discard anything? I'm like, no. Like, these 3 cards I have in my hand are good. Like, I want them.
And you finally got it.
And I think that definitely changes it. So, cool.
So Sam wins. Round of applause.
Yeah.
Crushed me.
Crushed.
But that's all we have for tonight.
Yeah.
Riftwalker.
So, cool. Ooh. Didn't mean to do that.
Blame Sam.
Blame Sam. So Jordan, I just wanted to was this something that they gave us? Like,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I talked to Crafty Games at PAX Unplugged, and they were generous enough to provide us with this copy of the game. As I said before, they have a Kickstarter going on right now, not for this game, but for one of their other properties, which is the Mistborn Metal Dice campaign. If you want really, really cool metal dice, I highly recommend checking that out. Also, stuff that we may have coming up with Crafty Games in the new year at some point is their sequel to Mistborn House War, which is Mistborn: The Siege of Luthadel. And if you've read the Mistborn series, you know what that's about. And so hopefully we're going to do a lot more fun stuff with Crafty
I'm waiting
games.
for the day where we like play a board game and Jordan's like, the book was better.
But that's all we have for you tonight. If you want to find out what we're doing next or talk a little bit more about what we did at PAX Unplugged this past weekend, stick around for the post show and we will be right back.